I want another 4 years because our work is not done. We have been very, very busy these past 4 years, and there's still a lot to do. The city is at a crossroads with a wonderful transformational time, and it's just necessary that we keep business-minded people on the city council. And I have a business background. Each of our other 3 candidates do as well, and we need to continue to bring the city forward.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me ask you about one of the topics that you've been dealing with, and if you're reelected, you will be dealing with. That's the steel mill property, Liberty Steel property. Now, the rezoning actually takes place on October 22nd. Tell us about what happens that day with the zoning and what's going to be different on October 23rd compared to what it is right now.
Well, what all that does, the rezoning, is takes away the heavy industrial part. It cannot be heavy industrial any longer, but it certainly can be light industrial, and other types of businesses can be on that property.
And does anything have to happen? Does city council have to take any kind of vote, or it just automatically?
As far as I know, Scott, it just evolves. Okay. Yeah, I'm in touch with Jim Moore, who is in charge of the demolition project. He calls me quite often, and just to report on where they are. They're very careful about watering down so we don't have the dust. I was thankful for rain in one way there, just because it does take some of that dust away. But yeah, they will do everything they can to keep it coming down nicely. I was out of town for a few days last week, and I will tell you, when I came by Liberty Steel the other day for the first time since I was out of town, it pure took my breath away because they did a lot in a few days.
So once it's all said and done and it's all gone and the land is clear, what can you say right now about what you know or think may happen to the property?
Well, what I think would happen, what I would hope would happen, I don't have a dog in this fight, as you know. What I would hope would happen would be that the city, the county, and International Paper Property could come together and have a development that works for all. It needs to be very diverse, and one piece of property that's contiguous to another affects the other piece of property.
Right, so, because it's like contiguous property.
Absolutely.
I mean, from Front Street all the way to the paper mill
hundreds
property.
Of acres.
Yeah.
And we need to be very thoughtful about what goes there. And it's really, at the end of the day, not our decision. It's zoning decisions, because we know what's allowed on all 3 of those pieces of property. So it's going to be a huge decision for the developers that come in and for our planning department as well.
So the part that's under the city's purview, or whatever the word is the steel mill property.
Correct.
Port and IP is county. So as long as whatever Liberty Steel or whoever Liberty Steel wants to sell to, as long as what they want to put there meets the zoning that's in place, really there's nothing the city can do to stop it.
No.
I mean, if they say, we want to sell to, Hyatt hotels and put a hotel there.
Sure.
If it's zoned properly, you can't stop that hotel from coming in.
No, absolutely
Right.
not. And why would we?
No, I'm just saying, because some people will say, well, council needs to stop this from coming there.
We have no control.
That's
what people don't understand. We have no control over that. However, having a good relationship with the developers and the county and whoever is the purchaser of International Paper Company is paramount. And that's what we're establishing, good relationships.
Now, I know you might not can say this, even if you know it, because it might have to remain confidential, but if you can say something, that'd be cool. As far as IP goes, are you hearing it will remain some sort of industry, or are you hearing anything?
I'm not hearing anything.
You're not hearing anything? Okay. Okay, I'm just, because a lot of people have, over the past few months have said, we'd like that to stay some sort of industry. Yeah. If the steel mill turns into, commercial and residential or whatever, a lot of people have said they would like to see IP property remain where jobs can be.
I want good jobs. That's the key. I've lived here most all my life, and I was a banker for 25 years. I banked most everybody that worked at Liberty Steel. and they had good paychecks. They really did. And, you know, I financed their houses, their boats, their cars, all those things. And they made a good, honest living. We need a good, honest living wages in our city. And I just feel like they're coming. I mean, right now, we have lost those two huge industries, and something good's gonna come out of this. It was a sad day when both industries shuttered, but it's going to be a much better day when we see industry and green space and whatever's the best for the city of Georgetown and Georgetown County.
So before we move on to the next topic, when do you think we'll hear what's going to happen with the steel mill property? Won't we, an announcement or anything like that, or announcement of a buyer or anything?
I've not been given a drop dead date at all.
Okay. Well, the other topic you've been dealing with and will continue to deal with if you're reelected, and that is electric rates. Let's just start from the beginning on that. How did we get to where we are today, with the electric rates?
I've said it many, many times. We have an enterprise fund that we have to operate under covenants and restrictions. So with our electricity rates, we did not raise rates, and I have the sheet right here, just because from 2011 until 2021, we had no increase in our electricity rates. We raised a little bit in 21, just 40 cents per, just a small amount. I watched this happen. I was on council for 8 years, and I was a vote that we just did not raise rates. I didn't vote not to raise rates. I knew we needed to raise rates.
So when you were on council, I mean, I can look at the record, but I mean, you voted to increase them?
I probably did. I don't remember, but I probably did. I probably did because I knew they needed to be raised.
But you were outvoted.
Of course.
Okay.
Of course. So the first thing I did when I became mayor, I had audits of all of our utilities and evaluations of our utilities. We were told that we had to raise a certain amount each year to become flush, because we never did, for over 10 years, a decade, raise incrementally. We had already lost our bond rating down a notch. The utility company was going, not the utility company, but the our bondholder was certainly going to threaten us to take over our utilities. And if they would have done that, that would have been a disaster. So ripping the Band-Aid off, yes, we raised, my first year as mayor, probably the second year going in after our, probably the second year after our audits, we had a 17% increase in electricity. Had to do it, didn't have any choice. I think I've explained it time and time and time again. And this year we actually had about a 9% increase overall. And that was because we had a 14% increase or 11% from Santee Cooper this year.
So will there be an increase this year?
The audit discovered that we should have incremental increases each year for the next 3 or 4 years, but very small, like 2%, 3%. And if we, continue to be on the right track with our collections, then maybe, we won't have to. That's just to see how it goes.
Okay. Now, is there any way that the city could meet with Santee Cooper and see, because you're a big customer. I mean,
I have met with Santee Cooper.
And to talk about maybe negotiate rates? Right?
We negotiated rates about 2 years ago. And I actually met with Santee Cooper at their office when this last rate increase came.
Okay, and there was no wiggle room?
Trust me, I don't mind asking for anything.
Oh, okay. Let me go back to Liberty Steel real quick, because one thing that we've heard, there's two different sides and two different groups of people that have two separate concerns about the development of the property. once it happens, I've heard some people say that they're concerned that Georgetown's historic district will not get the attention that it gets now. You know, everybody will be talking about the new that's on the Liberty Steel property, paper mill property, whatever, and you know, whether it's in advertising or whatever, we won't have any focus on the historic district anymore, which has been our calling card basically for decades. Another group, the West End residents, are concerned about being taxed out of their property. You know, the word gentrification gets used a lot. What do you say to both of those groups that have this concern?
I would say that our historic district is certainly a diamond in the city of Georgetown. We will never forget our historic district. The West End is an up-and-coming area, in my opinion. We had enough faith in that area to actually purchase the Liberty Steel Executive Building, put our city hall over there. Gentrification means a lot of different things. Does it mean cleaning up the neighborhood and making it beautiful? Because it is a beautiful neighborhood. There's beautiful pieces in the West End that we are very proud of, and we want everybody to be proud of their property.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you about Maryville, because we talk about the West End a lot, historic district a lot, Front Street a lot. Maryville, you know, Country Club Estates, we don't talk a lot about those areas. What as mayor, if you're reelected, you know, can you do for those areas in the next 4 years?
Well, I was at Maryville last night, actually, at an event, and very well received. You know, there's always drainage projects in Maryville and some roads. I'm going back to what I heard last night. You know, our road needs paving, and that's a SCDOT road. But yes, I'll call SCDOT and you know, put you on their radar. So, Country Club Estates, those are newer neighborhoods, and they're not as needy as the historic district, the West End, and Maryville. So they don't have the infrastructure problems, the drainage problems that a lot of the other areas, the low-lying areas in Georgetown has.
Mm-hmm. Crime in the city, that's been a topic too, you know, with the gun incidents we've had recently. It's kind of calmed down in the past, you know, couple of weeks, but and hopefully it'll stay that way. Do we have enough police officers? Do we need more?
If we need more police officers, we will fund police officers. We are fully funded at this point, or fully charged in police officers at this point, I believe right now. We have a wonderful police department, a great chief of police, deputy chief of police, and they will certainly let me know if they need more police officers. Right now, we always have double the capacity of police officers in the areas that are more prone to crime.
So you're going to rely on Police Chief Pierce if he feels like he needs more officers. You'll rely on him for that information?
Absolutely. He's the expert. I'm not.
Yeah. What else in the next 4 years do you foresee as being, you know, hot topics, whatever, you know, if you're reelected?
Scott, I want to continue on the same path we are to increase fiscal responsibility in the city, analyze the budget correctly and carefully, which we have, take care of infrastructure projects that we already have in the CIP project. There's a lot to do, and I feel like we're the team to do it.
Mm-hmm. And you know, what me doing my job, I didn't ask. I've seen the t-shirts that say Jayroe must go, things like that. I mean, what do you think? I mean, it's gotten loud in the past couple of weeks. You know, what do you think about, you know, what's going on politically in Georgetown right now?
You know, I stay out of that fray and try to stay in my lane. I've got a city to run, and I'm busy hours upon hours a day working for the city of Georgetown. So the negativity, it doesn't bother me. I've heard enough of it, and most of it's the same thing over and over. And
some people may have heard your answer for this, some people may not. There was at least one opportunity for you to have a forum or debate against your opponent, Mr. Doyle. There were two different opportunities, and you chose not to go. Well, why is that? And would you be willing to do one before November 4th?
I will not. Scott, I think I've been the most transparent mayor that's ever been in the city of Georgetown. I'm always make myself available if possible at all times. I work very hard. We've had 20 community connection meetings, first time ever in the history of Georgetown, all over the city, and people have an opportunity to come. And I don't believe you'll have anybody say that I don't answer my telephone. So my voting record is out there. I'm not hiding anything, and I see no reason to have a forum with another candidate that I really don't know.
And if you had it to do all over again, if you could rewind the clock and go back to that night, would you have used the term "you and your people"?
Absolutely not. It just came out of my mouth. I mean, was it Mr. Gibson?
Mm-hmm. No, it was Donald Gilliard.
Mr. Gilliard. Mr. Gilliard was saying we, and it just said, I just said it. So, and I apologized immediately after I said it, but I don't think anybody heard that. But,
what did you think about the aftermath of that, the reaction?
You know, anybody that knows me knows I do no harm. I'm not there to hurt anybody's feelings. I'm not there to be negative. Everybody says something sometimes that they didn't mean to say, I guess, but I did not mean it disparagingly at all.
People can start voting Monday.
Yes.
And they can vote through Halloween, and then of course you can't vote the day before
Correct.
Election Day, but then November 4th is Election Day.
Mm-hmm.
So why should somebody vote for you on one of those days?
I think somebody should vote for me because I have been a good mayor. And I work hard, and I brought this city in a financial capacity that needed to be done. It wasn't fun at times. I'm not popular at times for it, but I can make hard decisions and move forward.